Good morning, family. Let me explain to you what I'm doing first of all. This idea here was brought to me by a few members of the church. And as I sought the Lord for his instruction and his guidance on it, as I was praying the other night, my wife came and gave me the same idea that God had been speaking to me about. So periodically I'm going to come on and I'm going to do exactly what I'm getting ready to do today. It won't be as long as it probably will be today because I won't have to explain to you anymore what I'm doing. But this Bible is a book of seeds that God has left us as the roadmap to guide us in this faith walk called life. Now, if we apply the seeds that he's left us, it's just like a farmer. When he wants to grow tomatoes or he wants to grow corn, he plants seeds in the soil, then he waters them so that they'll grow the harvest that he's expecting. If we want faith to grow in our lives so that we can defeat the devil, so that we can receive the harvest that we're waiting on, we have to plant the seeds also. We have to water them through studying the word daily, and then we'll reap the harvest that God has promised us. So today I want you to go with me to Proverbs, the 3rd chapter, the 5th and 6th verse. And it reads like this: Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. I looked up the word acknowledge. And acknowledge doesn't mean to tell, which is usually how we use this scripture. We like to tell God what we're going to do. But what acknowledge really means is to recognize. So if we input recognize in this scripture, it would make sense to us like this: trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. Now that's going to be the hardest thing for a lot of us to do. We like to figure things out on our own. We like to be able to take credit for what it is that we're trying to do. But most of the times we end up unsuccessful, or we go through more of a battle than we have to go through, because he clearly tells us not to lean on our own understanding. The reward, though, is acknowledge him in all your ways, or recognize that God has a plan for you in that venture that you're trying to go through, and he says he'll direct your path. Now, here's an example. Let's say that you're on the interstate. And probably everybody have experienced this. You're on the interstate and there's traffic and you hear a little small voice say, get off on that next exit. Now, some of us ignore that voice and we stay on the interstate anyway. And then we end up seeing why we were led to get off. For those of us that gets off on the interstate, we heard the voice of God, whether we recognize that it was God speaking to us or not. We got off on the interstate and we saw that our route turned out better by obeying the voice of God. And that's what he's saying there. Trust in him with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. No matter how intelligent or smart you are, God knows all and he sees all. And all he's asking is that if you recognize him in all your ways, he'll direct your path. And at the end of that road, there'll be a lot more success than what we've been having. I hope this helps somebody, and I'll see you again next time.